Hi parents, thank you for joining us today, and we really want to thank all of you. We are all parents ourselves, and we know that there have been many challenges during this time, and we are all in this together, working for what's best for all of our students. The purpose of this video vlog that we're starting is to answer questions that we're getting from families to work on solutions together. So my name is Julie Gu, and I'm our Coordinator of Innovation, Teaching, and Learning.
I'm Tiffany Spalding, and I am a literacy coach for the district.
My name is Misty Klusner, and I'm a digital innovation coach for our district.
And my name is Trevor Walker. I'm the IT director here at Campbell.
All right, so the first question we got from our parents so far is, what are the expectations of my child's teacher? So the big thing that happens at this time of the year is building classroom community. You may not necessarily have seen this when your students were in the physical classroom, but the goal with teachers right now is to really build that culture and that community so that students feel comfortable with both their teacher and with one another, so we have that trust, because that trust is really what enables the learning and the risk-taking later on. A lot of things that happen at this time of year also is going over classroom procedures. So in the physical classroom, right, that'd be how do we get materials, how do we line up, how do we come to the rug for read-alouds. And so now you're probably seeing that, but in the virtual setting. And the reason we do this is by establishing these procedures and having students getting very comfortable so that these become just second nature and automatic. That actually makes it so that we save valuable instructional minutes later on and avoids a lot of behavior issues and other complications that might come up later. So you might be seeing a lot of that right now, but understand that that's actually going to help ensure that we can maximize our instructional time in the coming weeks. This is also a very new environment for everyone, for our teachers, for our students, and for you. And so we're just trying to make sure that we're going into this with a flexible mindset, and we're adapting as we come across roadblocks. We're maneuvering around, we're figuring out how to go over as we establish this new normal in order to make sure that what we're doing is best for our students. So we do value your feedback because that helps us as we think about what shifts we need to make to ensure that your child is learning.
Okay, so another question, we kind of summed it up into one big header question, but what is your role as a parent in distance learning? And we're getting lots of questions kind of around that topic. And number one is just to make sure that you're signed up for school and district communication as well as with your teacher. So making sure you understand how your teacher's communicating with you, whether it's through Seesaw or emails. But then also with the district and your school, there are newsletters that go out, and we want to make sure that you know how to sign up for those. So I'm going to need to share my screen really quickly. And if you go to the Campbell website, which is campbellusd.org, you'll see here on the top right side, there's a button called Follow, and you can choose any of these options. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, you would go down to Newsletter. And here you would fill in your email address and then decide whether you want to sign up for the district email or the district email and your individual school email. So that's probably the easiest way to sign up for both. You can also go directly to your school. So say you are a Castlemont family, and here's the newsletter sign up for that. Okay? And while I'm sharing my screen, another way that you're going to support your child is just making sure that they have an environment to do their work. So their workspace, they have their schedule figured out. You're going to kind of help them with the logistics of that. So in this family guide, which we're hoping that you received from your child's teacher or your child's school, if not, we have some links that you can get it directly. And those are being held up for you. You can go to the bit.lys. But there are just some suggestions on how to set up your child's workspace, making sure that they have the materials that they need on hand, ready to go. They're not running around the house looking for them all the time. That they understand like setting up even like a visual schedule of what the day is going to look like so that it's predictable for your student. And then knowing their individual learning needs. Do they need to get up and move every 15 minutes or every 5? What do they need to do to be a good learner? So These things are in the family workbook. We have them available in both English and in Spanish, and that is in there. I'm going to stop sharing. And something else that you need to make sure that you're doing is if your child is unable to complete their work because they're sick or something's happening in your family, you do need to continue to report absences to your child's school. And you would do it the same way that you've been doing it, calling the school to report those absences. The last thing is something that is new. When we do assessments in school, parents aren't there. And so students are completing their work with just teacher support or independently. They're doing their assessments on their own. But now that we're home, here we are as parents trying to support our students completing their assignments. But we often don't know where that line is between how much support we should give them on their assignments or their assessments and how much we should just let go and let them make the mistakes that they're going to make and wait for feedback from the teacher. In general, we want students to accomplish their assignments the best that they can on their own. Obviously, you know, if you're going to give them a little guidance, that's okay. But we do want them to complete them independently. With assessments, it should be 100% only what your student can do on their own. So with our K2 students, that might be the DIBELS assessments where your students are meeting one-on-one with their teachers. We really need them to just do what they can do on their own without any guidance from you. And that can be really hard as parents, but it helps the teachers know where to go from there with the instruction. Okay, and on to our next question.
Okay, so the next question was, how do I get help? And for our elementary students, your classroom teacher will be your first point of contact. So if you have a question about a class assignment, class meetings, logging in, please reach out to the classroom teacher. From there, the classroom teacher can put in a tech help for your family, and that will go to our IT department. For our middle school students, middle schoolers can put in a tech help, and it's techhelp.campbellusd.org, and they can do that from their Gmail CUSD portal. And for all families, if you have a question about getting on or using our technology devices, you can go to bit.ly CUSD Tech Help, and there is a playlist of videos on how to log into your Chromebook, how to get on to Clever, how to get on to Seesaw and Google Classroom. Also, the tech department will be providing office hours, so stay tuned for those office hours. They will be communicated through our district email through Marla Sanchez.
All right, we got another question about how do I receive a computer from the district and how do I take care of my device? So I'm really proud to announce that over 76% of Campbell USD students have taken home a Chromebook, a district-owned Chromebook. It ends up being about 5,100 devices we've handed out, the vast majority of them coming into students' hands about the week before the school year started. But we are still in the process of handing out Chromebooks, so if you need a Chromebook, feel free to reach out to your teacher. Feel free to reach out to the front office, and they will help facilitate a computer drop-off. It'll take just a couple of minutes. It's a very, very seamless process. We've also handed out over 250 cellular hotspots for the families that do not have home internet access. We are making home internet access available for you for free, no cost to the parent. We are in the process of securing more of those cellular hotspots, but we have about 50 left. So if you have any need at your home, again, please reach out to your teacher, please reach out to your front office, and we'll make a hotspot available to you. We are getting a lot of support requests from families who are using their personal device, right? About 24% of the families are using personal devices still. From an IT perspective, it's very difficult to provide remote support for devices that we do not own and do not centrally manage. So we highly encourage everyone to pick up a Chromebook. It's going to make support a lot easier for the tech department. We automatically roster and configure applications on the Chromebook that you wouldn't otherwise have on a personally owned device. Teachers are familiar with the Chrome OS and might be able to help your student work through issues on their device that they may not be familiar with if your student's connecting with a Windows laptop, for instance. So please, if there's any question about what device you should use, it should be a district-issued Chromebook. Again, we'll have those available in the front office for pickup for the people who have not yet picked one up. In terms of taking care of your device, we just have a couple of suggestions here. Make sure you're not eating or drinking near your computer. The computers that we have purchased are considered ruggedized. They're made for school. They're made for taking a little bit of abuse, but it's certainly, don't test it. You should not be drinking, eating anything near your computer that might otherwise damage it. We've gotten some questions about stickers. Are stickers okay to put on the Chromebook? We are okay with stickers going on Chromebook. We like the idea of personal ownership of the device, making it feeling like it's your own, even though you will be turning it at the end of the year. That degree of ownership does tend to result in computers that are better taken care of. My only ask is that we avoid paper-based stickers. Vinyl-based stickers are better. They don't leave any residue behind. It's pretty rough to get rid of all the paper sticker residue behind. So if you are going to put a sticker on there, please use a vinyl-based sticker. We do have an insurance program launching this Thursday, September 3rd. For middle school students in years past who have used district-issued devices, you'll notice the cost has been reduced. It's now down to $25 per computer for a year of coverage. The insurance program will cover any accidental damage to the computer. We'll repair the computer, we'll swap the computer, whatever's the fastest turnaround to make sure that your kid can get back to learning. The insurance does not cover intentional damage. So if your kid intentionally breaks their computer, they will be liable for charges. Same thing for like cosmetic damage. If they're picking keys off the keyboard or scratches on there, we're not going to fix that for free there. So information will be posted though in this week's newsletter. So be sure to follow Tiffany's prior instructions, sign up for that newsletter, and be on the lookout for information about the insurance program.
Okay, so that is all of the questions that we had for today. But if you have a question that wasn't answered in this video, don't worry, there's a way for you to submit your own questions. So if you go to this bit.ly, and it is case sensitive, so all caps CUSD, and then it's parent QA, as in Q&A. If you go to this bit.ly, you can submit your own questions. And we will include them in future webinars. And in addition, we're looking for a great name for this video series. So if you have an idea or a suggestion, or your student does, maybe they're watching with you, feel free to submit it in the same form, even though it's technically the Q&A form. That's all we have for you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.